Is the patch out yet? 8.5? No. No patch. Still no patch. Let's disable the music, because the music is terrible. Oh, it's already disabled, never mind. Dude, that's why I've been so bored. What do we call her? Viper Baby. That's a good name. And I don't do solo anymore, because I think if you do this, you can store items from your other characters and use those.
I've never been this far from the slums. No looking back now. Time to leave Majelka behind here.
I know how to use abilities. This time I'm gonna use a shield. This early on. This super squishy as is. Maybe we dual wield swords this time. I'm not sure what skills to go with then. If we want dancing strikes. Bleed. All bleed is converted to poison. Shadows. Throwing shurikens. You can use it with sync strikes and lethal mirage. Dancing Strike's third attack creates a fighting arena. Your next puncture deals more damage after using Dancing Strikes. Plans to use Shadow Cascade. I'm not a huge fan of any of these. This is just Frenzy down here. Up here is Poison. Shadow Dagger. Just not sure what to play. I think this one might be kind of neat. More mirages. This is basically seven-sided strike or whatever from monks in Diablo 3. More mirages. Why would I want to do lightning damage? Isn't that weird? Is there even anything else that does lightning damage? Shurikens. You have 2 lightning damage skills. So, yeah, I find that kind of weird. Yeah, see, we've got those things there. I wonder how viable it is to use a two-handed weapon as one of these. Hello, okay. Your favorite genre? Oh, it's your favorite genre. The best one in the world. And this is just a beta, so it's like super shit as well. It's great.
Easy. Too easy.
If I'm gonna be honest, like the only streams I actually enjoyed were the Minecraft streams. I watched all of those, I think, more or less. And then it was literally just because I was playing Path of Exile.
Help me.
But otherwise, it's like, eh. And again, it's not like there are that many game choices.
For the glory of Solarum.
They've hidden the FPS under the beta thing, so I can't see how badly it runs, but it runs really badly. This game runs like dog shit. Really, really awful. This is so deep. I love the beginning of this game, it's so good. Skill specialization. I don't even know what to put in there, dude. I don't want any of these abilities. Do we put in shift? Like the worst thing to put in there first. What do we... Is this the only way to get damage here? I think so. And it still sucks. Oh yeah, you just use poison plants for the entire game. This is the only AoE.
There's nowhere to run. Surrender the shard. God, dispose of this interloper. You shall burn! You dare defy Raya's will? My talents will tear you apart! Raya's flames
I don't know if I need a single target skill. Or if we're good with Mirage Strike. That was sick.
Did Balthus send you? Riley's forces are not finished with us. We don't have much time before more of them arrive.
Let's see, we take the dexterity and the HP.
What is this place? I don't seem to have gone far, but everything looks so different. Is there more
Oh,
here?
blessed Terra's name.
Can we equip a two-hander? And is it at all worth it? We can. Looks terrible.
Easy. Too easy.
But let's keep that, I guess. I will never stop Annie's posting. I love that man. I love gnomes. New shoes. That is a gnome. That is absolutely a World of Warcraft gnome. Don't kill me.
Terra watch over you. Gods.
Corrupted gnome. It's what's the dungeon called? I remember the Camouflage gnome. Now we have puncture. I don't think I want puncture either. It has like a charge thing. Every third puncture deals more damage and in a larger area. But that's not... Puncture consumes bleed stacks. That could be kind of cool, I guess. Puncture has less attack speed. Puncture can be charged up for 1 second. Lead chance to poison. Every 4 seconds, your first few direct uses of puncture are rapid strikes which have increased attack speed. I mean, I don't know. It's still a really boring skill. It's just a stab.
Easy. Too easy.
Yes? Gods be with you.
Listen. You stupid one. Save me.
Broken sword? Oh, wait, I already have a helmet. No, I don't. Is that your hair? Yeah, oh. Ooh. Bonus melee attack speed.
Easy. Too easy.
Gods be
be with you. Stay safe.
You can talk to this guy without walking up. Very important strat. No, they're not worth killing. Big fat enemies that you have to kill twice.
What brings you here? Taylor's Grace Eden.
Ah! Can't sit cross-legged or my blood flow explodes.
You there, help me.
Wonder if you can fail this encounter.
Come off me.
Impressive. Go on. I'll be right behind you.
Two resistance. Trash, trash. Trash, trash, trash. Really, there's no point picking any of this up, really. Well, it does have bleed chance there. Double resistance? Nah, I don't want to do puncture. This lets me dual wield. I do want to do that, but Every time I pick dual wield, it ends up killing the shit out of me. It's not a smart thing to do this early. Toxic cloud, poison, smoke blades. I don't like the smoke. Not bad though.
I see.
But I prefer building theme characters than anything else.
Farewell. What? Go on.
These items might be your best bet.
So,
Stay safe.
what second skill do we take now? There's nothing I want. I guess we'll just take Flurry for the time being. Replace it later. Either that or Cinder Strike. Go up there. $40 mana though, holy shit. Just maining Flurry is kind of nice, because it just keeps you alive, because you can go and get health gain. And leech right away. This is a guaranteed bleed. I kind of wanted to do bleeds. Maybe we should go up there. Because down here is poison and crit. If we go up there, then we get bleeds. Yeah, maybe. I was just gonna chill in my couch, but chilling in your couch gives you terrible neck pain. So I have to chill from chilling in my couch.
Too easy.
Instantly kills enemies. Larger area. But I don't like the next skill thing. I'm not sure where to go. Vulnerable. I just get the heals.
trade, mate.
Love how like every single enemy in this game is just a purple blob. Did I get XP before he died? Oh, there it is. I don't even know how dual wielding works in this game, if it like just averages the weapons or... Whew. Let's get all the decks and all the health first. To be frank, the bosses are almost as bad as the Witcher 3 bosses. Not quite, but it's very, very close. They take forever, and they have like one move. To be honest, I don't know really. When it comes to like boss design and enemy design, I'm not entirely... I don't entirely feel like I have a good grasp on how to do that well. But I'm not a huge fan of in games like this. You just, like, the entire boss fight is just avoiding, like, big one-shots. But at the same time, I don't really know
Stay safe.
what else you would do, really. Other than just it being like a stat test or stat check or something. Which is also not good. Hmm. Like, one way is to use more of a bullet hell approach and like throw in a bunch of different enemies, so there's more than just one entity that you have to react to. I think that's not a bad approach at all. And on big bosses, I also think, like, if you want to have just one boss, I think you should treat them like multiple entities so that there's more than one thing to keep track of, really. At least that's my initial thought. Because otherwise, you're kind of just standing there doing damage on them until you see, like, the slam AoE underneath your feet, and then you just move out. And that's about it, right? But if it's more about like a periphery thing, I guess. Then you don't have to make all the hits do like insta-kill damage. It also depends on like how much the player can regen. Because if you can just regen everything, which I don't think is bad necessarily, but it is a difficult design choice. I actually think Lost Ark was pretty good when it came to that. Like how it treated health and like recovery in bosses. Because the entire game was like based on doing bosses. And you were just supposed to not get hit. But almost nothing was an insta-kill. So it was more like you could take a certain amount of hits, and then you had like some small ways maybe to recover health. So if you could kind of recover from it, but if you kept getting hit, then the boss would wear you down. I think that's probably one of the best approaches I've seen to an ARPG-ish kind of game. But for that, if you're gonna have a hardcore mode, it becomes kind of weird from like a how to like design fights and stuff, because you would want people to be able to just go in. maxed. Got all the decks. Don't know if it's worth it. 1 point for one deck. We can remove that later if we want to. I don't know if these guys are worth killing. Not really. Let's not kill the big ones. Big ones, waste of time. Maybe unless they're blue or yellow, then it might be worth it. Probably not. Don't kill me!
Where are you going?
I'm going in.
Gods.
Okay, so now we go up there. There is dodge rating down here, but this is when moving, and I don't understand what that means. It's kind of weird. So I don't like taking it. More healing from shift. If a single hit deals at least 50% of your health, shift cooldown is reset. No, throw it. Increased damage over time. Oh, shit. 18 physical and 20 void? This is like an endgame armor. Not really, but it's gonna. This might be what I have until like the end now. To be perfectly honest, this these could be good, but we already have. Yeah, maybe not. Here we have some more resistance. Lightning res. This is health regen.
Easy. Too easy. Easy. Too easy.
+1 to shift. How did that drop so many items? Minion armor. This is why I decided to switch it over from solo, because you literally never get a unique that matches what you're playing. Which is just a little tedious. All I was thinking. Leather gloves of regrowth. Yeah. Oh shit, I got stuck. What did I say? Like the bosses are just. Yeah. Is there anything worth picking up? Physical resistance, physical damage, increased melee damage. Holy shit. Nope, it doesn't compete with that. It had too many resistances. There we have 2 resistances. No resistance. What's that on?
Eterra's grace be with you.
Where's level 12? Plus, well, I guess it doesn't matter with these items, but generally you shouldn't forge without a Glyph of Hope, but these are like level 2 items. It's
Be with you.
probably smarter to save them. Oh, the health regen was an affix? Oh, whatever. What you can do
Grace be with you. Eterra's grace be with you.
is just put melee physical damage here. Oh, it was flat? Well, maybe flat is the best in the beginning.
Yourself.
Like, honestly, taking a yellow weapon and just putting damage on it is probably smarter than looking for the right item. At least in the beginning. Ah, come on. Warriors increased physical damage. Well, that's the only thing it's gonna have. I'd rather have the flat damage then. I wonder if flat damage is better on a fast weapon in this game. Or if that's even like a viable build. You probably still want like flat damage and increased damage percent. Which is a little bit, yeah. I don't like stats that overlap too much. Because you have a very limited amount of slots on your items, and if you need to have 2 slots for 1 damage type, then it just limits the amount of builds in the game. I don't think it's a good thing. Like let's say you have a game with no classes and you can like multi-spec and play like a caster with melee weapons or something. And if you then use this item system where you can have 2 main prefixes only, and then if you need to have both melee physical damage and increased melee physical damage, then purely because that item is designed that way, or the system is designed that way, or literally that prefix exists, and now it's no longer viable to play like a multi-class thing, multi-element or multi-pipe or whatever. So now you have to be pure melee. Working on it, brother. And then again, Lost Ark isn't exactly perfect when it comes to designs for bosses, but I feel like most of them were okay. But it was just the second you went into raids, they had literal WoW raid design, and it was just not good.
What a shame. Poor man. Well, done is done.
Oh, that's all you needed to go over there? Bleed stacks on 3rd attack. I mean, this one's probably not bad. I don't know how many points I want to put in here. A glancing blow is 35% less damage, so you can stack that on top of dodge. So here you get 30%, no, what is it? 15%. But then as Blade Dancer you can get more there. But it depends on where you want to go, I guess. Increased melee damage, increased throwing. Dusk Shroud. Each stack of Dusk Shroud adds 50 dodge. This is what we want to focus on. Glancing and bleeds. Perhaps. Not sure. Because the thing about being dual wield is that it makes you take more damage, and taking more damage is a really bad thing.
You must find the temple and reform the Epoch.
in hardcore especially.
God to be with you.
You have to build like extra defensive. But we need 3 points here, it seems. But let's take these 5 first.
May I tear a smile upon you? Greetings. Do not dwell on regrets.
Idols. More physical rest. Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Double resistance, yes. We can get double rest here. Double rest. Sure, whatever. I like the health regen ups though. Quite a lot.
Follow your feet. Easy. Too easy.
Added health, meh. Like some shards you really want, some shards are like whatever. Yeah, that's nice. We can get whatever resistance we need there. I'm not sure. I think Void is still... Like, Void and Physical are still the best ones to keep high. But you need all of them. Whatever. I don't know what to put there. To be honest, Shift is just not a very interesting ability. It was kind of nice in my previous build, because then I was making a Shadow Cascade thing, but... No, I don't know. Strike a wider area, like, I mean, I guess, like... It's just not that big of a deal. But it doesn't do any damage. Like, no matter how much you spec it, it just does no damage. So you can use it to execute enemies or dash around a little bit. I usually just get the heal. And this ability is just super strange to me. Every third attack does more damage. But it's like, okay, but if you have a bunch of attacks that are like stage attacks, like it does a 1, 2, 3 combo, then you have to keep this buff like in sync. It's just super strange. And that's like, it feels like that's what they're designed for. But it's what it works the worst for, unless you like specifically get no other attacks other than your like 1, 2, 3 attack. Something like that. Or you just kind of let it happen on your the shittier hits instead. Oh! Double res?
Easy. Too easy.
Yeah, I see health on items and I'm like, that's kind of shit, but I think you want as much of that as possible. I mean, I don't know how it is in this game. If this was PoE, then yeah, for sure. But maybe getting armor or something is worth it in this game. It depends on the numbers, but odds are health is the superior value. But for that, you need to be able to max out your resistances on top of that, and right now we just need resistances. Oh, come on. Don't spread out. Whoa! Don't kill me. I wonder if you could implement a Halo shield to some degree in an ARPG. But that would depend heavily on how you design the encounters. Like, they do it. You could argue that they do it in PoE and in this game, but I don't really think so. Like, they have a shield mechanic, but it's just HP on top. Doesn't really do that much.
Who are you?
Ballista. Let's go down first, I think. Let's see. We did find a bunch of items, right? We have no poison, no necrotic. We have no poison, no necrotic. We can put cold or physical on it. Sure, let's put cold on it. No forging potential. Oh, you can upgrade it again? Okay. This one is... I don't know. I don't know if I like items like this. Just, okay, you deal double damage, okay. I guess. At what cost? Well, you can't have... Like, there's no real cost here either. Take fire damage a little bit, who cares? Void Rest Shield, let's put that there. That's what I said. I think the encounters in Diablo 3 was actually kind of okay, but that's to some degree because they did what I was saying before, and I kind of like the encounters here too. Like, they're a little bit overwhelming. There's shit going on and they spray stuff at you, but I still don't feel like I can't see what's happening. And I still feel like it's perfectly manageable. This is a pretty good area. Amulet. No. More damage. Poison. Bleed. What I did like in Lost Ark was that you could like preempt the enemies a bit better. Like, you had attacks that you actually used with hitboxes in front of you that like pushed enemies away and staggered them and stuff like that, so you didn't take damage all the time. Because here it's like the game has to, you have to have regen. And you have a pretty high base regen, just because the game is just about enemies doing damage to you. That's just unavoidable. I think that's a good example of a very flawed old school design philosophy. And it's not that you can't do it like that, I just think it could probably be done better. Now, I think Lost Ark does it pretty decently. Granted, the enemy design is just terrible in there, so it doesn't really matter, but still think it is okay there. But it is an MMO, so none of the and nothing you fight matters. It's just super easy trash. Am I done? Yeah, okay, yeah, we're done here. See, these, I don't really get these. Because to get there, you have to fill the tree. And when you fill the tree, you're already at Blade Dancer. So, it's a little bit like, okay, I guess. +1 max shadows. I don't really like shadows. Warriors, that's good, right? 60% increased physical damage. Not gonna use it, but it's pretty nice. The amount of damage I am not taking compared to the last time I was here is absolutely staggering. Then I was dual wielding. It was not a good idea. Not sure if I actually died here or not. I don't think so. Maybe I did. I think I did die here.
Easy. Too easy.
No, come back. Don't move away from me. Piece of shit. One thing that kills you in this game more often than I would like is the pathfinding. Kind of annoying. Because the enemy is doing like a cone attack and you want to avoid it and you press behind it, but there's no pathfinding at all, so it just walks into the enemy model and gets stuck there. You always have to be sure that you're walking around. Are we done here? No. It looks like you head back, but you have to go down. So many babies. Woohoo! Okay. Dark purple things on the ground. Not great. Not great. I don't like those guys. They're super tanky. And they put things on the ground that you can't see. Kind of surprised you can't get 2 charges on shift. I will kill you. Okay. No, it's up there.
Easy. Too easy.
But we can always respec later. I'm not really sure what I want to play with this character. I was making another build, but I died with like 3 rogues in a row. Then I was choosing daggers and doing like shadowy assassin stuff. If we're just gonna do the blade dancer thing this time, we just have to see how it plays. I don't know if it's any fun, and by fun I mean if the animations are cool. That's basically what it boils down to. This game is less shit? Less shit than what? Where are we going? Down there? This game is less shit than Persona 5. I mean, I would say so, but it's not like this game is stellar at all. The story is just as bad. It's just less weeby. The difference is that this game actually has some gameplay, even though it's not a lot. There's quite a lot more involved still. But most of it is just builds, to be honest.
Farewell.
Making builds is kind of nice. It lasts for... It can hold you over for quite a long time. Unless you're too dumb to make builds. You see people like that, and they can't play games like this. What did we get? 4 minions. Okay, who cares? Put it in there.
Farewell.
But there being a ground effect and you have to walk out of it is already more gameplay than any JRPG pretty much. So, know what to tell you.
Yes?
Plus some actual human input. But I've already been talking about the bosses, because I don't think the bosses in this game are very well designed. They basically have like 3 mechanics that they rotate around. No slams anymore? What happened to the slams? There's the slam. And do that. Did we get that? Yeah. This is a poison area. We have 0% poison res. Not good. Honestly, probably just run past. A brain is dying. I don't know why. Did I really delay the keto flu by 3 months by drinking milk? Is that really the case? Can barely believe it. I don't know if it is the case or if I just have a headache. Of glory, health on kill, no. On kill stuff is actually really nice, but it's only a thing that you can really use on characters that are built for a specific goal. Like in PoE, you can clear maps with them. That's all you do. You don't kill any bosses or anything. It's just for grinding mobs. But I've never really liked that much. To some degree, I kind of like characters that can like focus on something or specialize in something. But that's like within an MMO context, not within like Path of Exile, because there it's like what exists. You kill monsters, you kill bosses. Okay, so you want one character that kills bosses and one that just kills monsters, and they just like help each other. I never really liked that. I just want to have a character, right? You can still do that, but the bosses are so tweaked for that boss killer build that we can barely do it. But Path of Exile's balance is absolutely ridiculously terrible. Like Blizzard wish they were that bad at balancing. And if someone asked me for an example of bad balancing, I would say Blizzard. Can never enjoy anything top down. I mean, I can understand that. But these games have more the kind of grind that I want from like an MMO. Where it's actually just about playing the game and grinding. And you actually get shit all the time and you can improve your character all the time, more or less. While in an MMO, it just doesn't work that way. Unless you're a raider. You can get some shit from dungeons and then you're done. Kind of. And it's like the same item. And all it does is give you 4 stamina and 5 strength. And it's just like an eye level upgrade and nothing else. That's like typical MMO design. But I prefer MMO gameplay and MMO, like the whole setup in general. But I definitely prefer the way this game, like the content of an ARPG. I don't really like being forced into team content either. Where are we going? Get more healing. The ends? Yeah, they're amazing. See, the thing I hate the most about Japanese games Like, if they had a good story, I could live with Final Fantasy 1 game design. But the stories are just so fucking dog shit. Japanese writing is the absolute epitome of garbage. Like, One Piece is like the literary masterpiece of Japan. They do seem to like it a lot. I do like a good story though, but I think the way I see it is like, if you can't write a book, you write a movie or a TV show. And if you can't write a TV show or a movie, then you write a video game. There are just very few that I think are actually worthwhile on a story front. That's why I'm kind of tired of playing story games. I want to play something more like Minecraft. Like, even The Witcher 3 is probably my favorite story game. And it's still shit. Like, the story in The Witcher 3 is awful. But the main campaign is like, okay. Or no, not the main campaign. The side quests are pretty good. That's what I like about it. Like the main campaign side quests, like the Red Baron and whatnot, they are pretty decent. But the main story is just not, it just doesn't exist. But it's written just like the other Witcher games, which is the problem, because it's just not there. They do what I call Fallen Tree syndrome, or Fallen Tree writing. Or obstacle on the road writing. That's all it is. It's... You find some... You're doing something, you have one goal, and you pursue that goal, but the only thing that happens in the pursuit of that goal isn't things really related to it. It's just things that come in the way. And you have to solve some other bullshit to continue the story. Right? So... It's not like you get to another stretch of the story where, you know, your goals change or something like that. It's just like, no. You have the same goal the entire time, but everything is just bullshit that comes in, that gets in the way. Like, the Red Baron storyline internally is really good. But... really, what are you doing? Like, you're looking for Ciri, and he's just like, no, I won't tell you about Ciri. Okay. And then you go questing for him for like 20 hours. Just to like save his wife or some bullshit. And then he's like, yeah, I saw Ciri, she's over there. And then you go over there, and then the same thing happens again. You didn't find Ciri, but now you have to do another thing so that somebody will tell you something that they won't tell you. Because they know, but they need something from you. And all of the games are built like this. Witcher 1, 2, and 3. They're all built like that, and it's just... In Witcher 3, it's like much more acceptable because the writing itself is just a lot better. It like the actual writing in The Witcher 3 is by far the best in gaming, in my opinion. But because there's like, and the reason for that is that it's gone one layer extra, and that's like all I ask for the most part. Like there's one quest where I don't know exactly how, I don't know if I can really relay it, but you find one guy on the side of the road, and he's like, I got robbed by bandits, can you get my shit back? It's over there. And you're like, alright, sure, and then you go and get it back. But then you can figure out that they weren't attacked by monsters at all. And he had attacked them and robbed them, and then they got eaten by corpse eaters. And then it goes even further, because he's like part of the resistance, etc. But because usually it's like, there's a quest, my daughter is missing, she's over there, and then you go there and there's like an evil bandit, and he's like, I have your daughter, and then you kill him, and then you bring the daughter back, and that's like the end of it. Like, that's a Skyrim quest. Or in Skyrim, the twist is, no, there are vampires here, and that's like how deep it'll go. There are vampires. Surprise. Finally got the smoke out of the house. Yeah. Smoke is not nice. I know, I have left the oven on a couple of times too many. Goodbye. Oh, I love holding this button. No, I maintain Lost Ark is probably the best designed ARPG when it comes to gameplay. Unfortunately, everything else in Lost Ark is fucking garbage, but because it has so much stuff you can do. Like you've got little attacks. When I was playing Paladin, the kit I had was actually really nice. Like you have an attack that's also a dash, and it also gives you a shield, so you have like nice mobility, and you can use it in melee as well, just to avoid getting hit. And I was playing like a heavily a barrier build, so I had a bunch of stuff like that where I could kind of power through attacks now and then. And then you also have to have skills that like break their armor, and if they break, they get stunned, and you can do a bunch of damage while they're stunned. And you have attacks that are better from the front and attacks that are better from the back. So you have to keep getting to the point where you're fighting the enemy from the side where you're strongest as well. And you also have counters. Like, no, I think Lost Ark was pretty good when it came to all of that. Where are you pointing? Unfortunately, like I said, everything else was shit. The rest of the game is just total nonsense, to be honest. It was just daily lockouts. You logged in and you did your one thing.
Farewell. Greetings.
Buff/debuff endless games? Like, you had to give me an example.
Do not dwell on regrets.
What do I want here? I don't want anything there. Pop in puncture for now, I guess. Oh, so something like Hades. I can charge it once. Maybe. He hasn't played Hades, but yeah. That's like exactly how Hades works. I mean, they seem pretty popular. I'm not a huge super fan. And the reason for that is most of these games tend to have like power-ups that you buy between runs. That's how Hades works. That's how Rogue Legacy works. That's how I think Dead Cells works like that. I'm not entirely certain. And that kind of irks me a little bit. Otherwise, I don't mind the whole setup, but when you can buy power-ups like that, in Hades, for example, you can get a power-up that heals you whenever you finish a room. And to me, what that means is that, okay, so the game is basically designed so you're not supposed to finish it before you have lost a bunch of times just to like level up. And I don't really like that design in itself. But it's not really a genre I've played that much, so I'm not really sure what to say.
Yes.
Except that.
Yes.
Because it's like, at the same time, you don't want, like if you want a game like that, you don't want the player to just finish it, like in their first run. And okay, the game is done. It's been like 2 hours. Great. Fantastic. Like when I was playing I played Wizard of Legend, and that also is kind of like that. Like you get power-ups and then you get to the next level, etc. Or you get new spells at least. And that game I finished in, I don't know, it was like 30 minutes. And then I was like, alright. Now I don't really feel like playing it anymore, I guess. So it's a difficult balance, I think. And what's it called? in Risk of Rain as well, you like your first runs, like you can't, you can barely beat the game. Like I'm gonna say you can't beat the game, though someone will have beaten the game on their first run. Especially like hardcore players who have tried specifically for that. But not just any normal player really. And there it's more that they don't give you all the unlocks in the beginning, so you can't get all the good power-ups. So you have to play it and you have to unlock, and then you have to die and you have to try again. And you have to keep doing that repeatedly until you unlock like the good like DPS buffs. You can actually win the game. And the problem then, for me also, it's a twofold problem. It's at first the game's too hard, so you have to like grind, like, because that's what it becomes. It just becomes like a grind game, and then you have to grind until you can finish it, because you have enough power-ups. And then after that, the entire game becomes kind of pointless, because now it instead becomes like you're too strong, because now you have too many power-ups, and if you just keep playing, it just becomes easier and easier. So I think the design works, but I think it's flawed from the ground up to some degree. And I think that's true about a lot of genres, but
Follow your feet.
But in and of itself, just having like a shooter with power-ups and stuff like that between levels isn't necessarily a bad idea at all. But it really depends. And that's the thing. I mean, with everything, with art, something looks shit, but you work on it a little bit extra, and now it's great. And it's the same thing there, right? A shit game can have a really great idea behind it, but it's just super poorly implemented, and you just, because other ideas can ruin the original idea. That is often the case. As for example, MMOs that, or ARPGs that want to have like freeform systems or stuff like that, where you can have you can play a melee character with spells or whatever. I know you can't, because they, on top of this, they implemented like some kind of passive tree and stats. So now, if you want to do proper damage in melee, you have to be a strength character, and if you want to be a proper magic character, you have to have intelligence, and all the weapons that you pick up, like you need a staff or something that gives you more magic damage to be a wizard, and you swords only give you more physical damage, and you know, now they've completely deleted their original idea just by adding surrounding systems that just aren't compatible. That is super common, like giga mega common. It's like one of the biggest design flaws in games. You have a cool idea, but you don't know how to implement the context to make it have purpose and stay relevant. But in Dead Cells, for example, I feel like it's a lot about playing builds. Like you find a weapon you like and you try to like play that weapon build, and you can do something like that, for example, where it's not about having like 9 different weapons that you swap between like in Quake, but rather you have a bunch of weapons that you can kind of expand on, and then you kind of play around that mainly. But that requires, that's kind of a hard design path, because you have to be able to design a gameplay loop that works with like 1 weapon, for example, or 2 or something. Destiny does this relatively well, but that's because you have more buttons there. Like you have your grenade, and you have your melee, and you have your dodge. And you also have 3 weapons in Destiny. And they all have different purpose. Like the energy weapon is for breaking shields, the kinetic weapon is for doing damage on enemies that have shields down, and the heavy weapon is a little bit it's a little bit universal, right? But usually it's for big encounters. But sometimes you can use it just to clear out small mobs too. I do think Destiny has one of the better shooter designs. I've said that before, but I think it bears reiterating. It's a good case study. You have to remember that if you want ideas for games, you have to play a bunch of games in the genre. It's just like doing art. Like you have to build off something. Just build it, just making it and designing it on your own in the dark. It's a horrible, horrible idea. Where are we now? Are we at the boss yet? No, there's tons left, I think. Always be checking these. Oh, it was a haste shrine. Meh. Because there is one OP shrine that is the idol shrine that like it gives you a bunch of idols, and the idols are rare enough otherwise that it's super annoying to find them. Oh well. I haven't actually played any of these new old school games. I've been told they're pretty decent though. From what they're called, I don't remember the company name. Like the one that makes all of them. So I had to go this way? Okay. Did that even do a lot of damage? 70? pathetic. Also, it's weird that it hits twice.
Easy. Too easy.
Oh, my brain. It's like it's shrinking. We'll see if it's just my neck, but this was exactly how I felt in my first week of heat of flu before. Which I don't want, because I have work to do. But my core philosophy when it comes to games in general is that there has to be a back and forth. If there's no back and forth between you and the enemy, then probably not good game design. Like here, and you can argue for both ways here, I think. Because here you have trash mobs and they're all just garbage, but they're supposed to just be filler. And then you're supposed to have the yellow ones that are supposed to... You have yellow ones and you have bigger enemies that just have more health. And those typically make you do things. Like these guys make me avoid their AoEs. And if you have multiple of them, and if you have yellow enemies around, there is a lot going on, and you do have to react to everything that they do. But otherwise, like normal trash monsters, you don't. Like, you just don't think about it, and you just go and murder them. And I think that that's fine to a degree. Because you also need to have this, like... You need to have up and downs in game design, or in everything really. Like music, movies, book writing, like it doesn't matter. You need to have ups and downs, and that also includes the pacing in a game like this. It needs to be high pace and there needs to be low pace. I don't know what is doing so much fucking damage. Is it just these guys? And that's what Final Fantasy games mostly lack. Or JRPGs in general. It's just... I mean, they have some of it. Like, it's not like Final Fantasy 1 is a complete unplayable, like, NPC brain mess, but it's not far from it. You still have, you know, enemies can apply poison to you or blind or something, and you have to get rid of it, but that's it. Like, there's nothing more than that. And that is the problem. Because if you add something like, oh, enemies, like maybe you can see what enemies are planning. That's what they do in Grandia. And because you can see what they're planning, that means you can change your approach to the turn as well. Like, can I use a buff this turn maybe or something? Because otherwise in Final Fantasy it's just like you just use it. Like, I need a buff. Okay, I use a buff. And then the enemy, oh no, he used an attack. Whoops. And then, you know, like it's just like this weird thing. Things just happen. There's no planning, no logic to anything. And I think all games should have some degree of that. Planning ahead, reacting to things, building up to something.
Temple of Etera. Or at least it used to be. Doubt anything valuable is.
I think like super meters are actually not a bad bad way to have something like that. That adds like a little thing. It just depends on what it is, right? Like, it doesn't even have to be like a big super. It can just be like you have a... Like if you're playing Mega Man, for example. Like, even if it's just a time-based thing. I think if you made Mega Man, but you gave him like abilities that are always on when you defeat enemies or bosses, it would be a really good game. But the way it is now, it just sucks ass. Or it gave you like a secondary weapon, like so that it doesn't replace the Buster, but it like gives you a secondary weapon. Maybe it's just a secondary weapon choice, so you can swap between a bunch of secondary weapons, but none of them have ammo. Like rather, they either regen with time, or they regen when you shoot enemies or something, or both. But and that's something you can do in an FPS game as well. Just have like a secondary button that charges up, lets you play the game a little bit different. Because just having one weapon, like you have one shotgun and you walk around and shoot things, it's just like, let's be real, it's like brain dead tier gameplay. And for me at least, that just doesn't cut it anymore. There has to be something more, like maybe you can aim at body parts or something, you know. Anything, literally anything. Just one layer, one extra layer. Increased area with Cinder Strike's first strike. Oh, yeah, this is the last dungeon. The last dungeon before we get our club class. Good. But this dungeon is fucking garbage. It's so ass. It takes forever to get through. And that is also the importance of level design. This level is just super boring because it's just the same thing forever, over and over and over again. It's so big. Let's see if I can do it right this time. You have to look. You have to like follow the right, the left wall or something. Otherwise, you miss one of the goals, and then you're like You're stuck. No, you're not stuck, but you have to walk back. And you have to go down here. If you don't go down here and trigger that you have to go to the other place, then you can't finish the map. I don't like that. Oh, I feel so sick. Oh, hello there.
Easy. Too easy.
I do like working on like improving your character in games. So I don't think that it's entirely like a bad thing. These games where you can like level basically by going in and losing. But the fact that it involves going in and dying, that's a tall order to sell, I think. But people seem okay with it nowadays. Like Dark Souls is already taking care of that in most people. Because it's literally just Diablo, right? Like it's just Diablo, but you start over when like every single time. It's Diablo without a persistent character. It's not fit. Oh no. And now I have spent too many points, I think. We're gonna have to refund one. I don't like the first tree, it's super weird. But maybe it's okay. Like, I just don't know. It just feels like it's a waste to put points there. Compared to the, like the subclass tree. But maybe it's not that bad. Maybe the base tree is actually better, but it has less things to take. That is entirely possible. It still doesn't do enough damage. Like, I can't even tell the difference between using that and flurry, damage-wise. We have maximum bleed. How many damage per second points do I have to take before it's useful? Crazy. So I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get physical damage and damage over time, or do we just get physical damage and flat damage? And just have the bleed be something on the side? I think it depends a little bit on what we take in the tree, but not necessarily. Because if I... Like, if you stack bleed... Don't you just wanna take bleed stuff? Like, is there any point in getting both? See what I'm talking about? Like, I just don't... That's one of the biggest things you have to keep an eye on and avoid when you're making skill trees. And that's if all you're doing is just adding stacking. Is that what you want your game to be? Just if you want to be a physical DPS, you just stack physical stuff. Not great. I honestly prefer, like, the way they have the skill system in this game is great, honestly, in my opinion. That is how you make a skill tree. But it also means that you don't also make a passive skill tree the way they have in this game. I mean, you still can, I just think that passive skill trees are just... You have to be really careful with them. Because if you don't have stats, then everything works. Like that's the thing you have to remember when you add stats. If you add stats, what you're doing is you are making things not work. The more stats you add, in general, the less builds are viable. But at the same time, stats and having, you know, builds and getting passive points is still fun, but it doesn't really add anything other than there just being that, like, thing, kind of. Because it doesn't change how your character plays at all, for the most part. It literally just changes your stats. And that's why I think the skill system is a lot better, because it literally changes how the abilities function, like straight up how the game is played. And that's the only kind of customization that's actually interesting. That's why I think WoW's new skill trees, for example, are much better than the classic ones. The classic ones are total dog shit. And it's an example of how you should not do it. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's give me that thing. Tea does not have to exist with milk. You're wrong. It's undrinkable without milk. I tried. I can't do it. I can almost drink coffee, but it makes me feel terrible all day. This is like, it's just too strong. But I'm just doing a temporary fast to like avoid these things. I'll go back to drinking tea sooner or later. Ooh. Nah. I feel old when I'm complaining about things that I can't digest or something. I mean, yeah, you are old. Old and decrepit. Over for you. I don't think I necessarily can't digest, but I think I have a low tolerance to eating wrong in general. That's why I've always felt like shit in my entire life. And I'm just noticing it more now that I've stopped eating carbs entirely. Whenever you go back on it, it just feels like total shit. I feel like I'm about to explode whenever... It's a poison, dude. It's... And coffee is pretty much literally a poison. It blocks you. And it's not actually even particularly healthy to drink a lot of coffee. It's fine to like drink a cup, but even then, when I drink coffee, I you know, I've said it multiple times, but I lose all focus. I can't do it. Tea is works a lot better. I only drink coffee if it's been like a really shit night. And even then, I think it's probably a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, tea is literally just coffee light. Like, you're just drinking caffeine. But it also depends on the tea, right? You can buy the caffeine, the coffee, the teas that have less caffeine. Green teas have less. Buy chamomile tea so you fall asleep. But it tastes terrible. Awful. Well, I mean, I've only tried one, like a store brand chamomile tea, but it was not great. Either way, it's better than a Red Bull. Or a Monster. I drink it all the time. Chamomile? Or Red Bull? Helps my tonsils not swell up. Alright. That's good. Oh. Going to remove them after moving back. Should have Light teach you how to get rid of your tonsil stones. Disgusting, yeah. I tried it once, like poking your tonsils with something like a what is it called? A swab or something, and it's really hard not to gag. but I don't need it. At that point, I thought I had some issue like that, but it turned out it was my thyroid. It was swelling up and I was dying.
Easy. Too easy.
Heard in rural Russia they squish the baby's tonsils with pliers when they're a few months old. That sounds hard to believe. But I don't know, maybe Russians have super turbo tonsil issues. Oh shit. Yep, this is exactly like when I was going on keto the first time. It's so bad. Holy shit. I hope it doesn't last for 3 weeks. Because of caffeine or milk? Well, when you're trying to go into when you're trying to become fat adapted, meaning your body switches over to using ketones mainly instead of glucose. If you keep feeding the body like small amounts of glucose the entire time, it'll just keep running at like dog shit mode forever. Because it just doesn't switch over. At least so I've heard. So if that's what's happening, I don't know how lactose works in the body, but if it just converts to glucose basically, and I just drink a bunch of it every single day, then am I just like keeping myself in a really like shitty in-between state? Entire time? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Because before Christmas, I didn't have any issues with like my feet being turbo pain or anything like that, and now I've had that for months. So, and now it's like kind of gone when I start skipping the milk a bit. Well, it doesn't need to straight up convert if it can convert to like a downstream byproduct as well. It's complicated. I don't know. When it comes to that, I'm kind of working with rough strokes. Because it all converts into like some bullshit. Uric acid and blah blah blah. Always something. Butyric acid? I don't know about that. I honestly don't even know what that is. And we're dead. Subclass time. No, I said uric acid.
This is not what I was expecting.
You there, traveler. Greetings. This is the end of time, where the
Who are you
remains of
supposed to be?
timelines converge.
And in we go. That's an American chocolate, which makes it taste like literal vomit. Okay. I have only... I've only tasted a... I had American candy shipped to me once. And it was just some random candy and some Reese's stuff. And Reese's is absolutely disgusting. Clearly inedible. But that's just because it's just way too sweet. All American sweets are just... They're just twice as sweet as ours. Even if it's the same thing. It's just horrible. We are a blade dancer. Marabu salmiak? It depends. I've tried the marabu with licorice in it. Don't know if this is a different one. Black salt lakris, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that one. Well, it depends on which mood I'm in, which one's my favorite, but that one and the mint one is the ones I usually buy. Though I don't buy them anymore, obviously. Sometimes buy it with nuts. Weights or nut, I think, is the nicer one.
Who are you supposed to be?
That's what it's called here. I don't know why.
This place is peaceful, but there's no future here.
So what do we want? Flow. Whenever you use a unique skill, that's not what we want. We want bleeding per equipped sword. Yes. Scarlet Stream. Inflict bleed. So for now, just get this. But now we have Dancing Strikes, so we can replace this one. Dancing Strike's the one we want to try. More AoE. Let's start there. I want more AoE and we want bleeding. Maybe we go down here first. Creates a shadow. And this is Frenzy. Increased global damage. Yeah, that could be cool. So we've got the increased global damage. And here we have Lethal Mirage and Synchronized Strike deals more damage. So maybe we go for this plus a Mirage Strike build. Why can't I click it? Does it have to hit enemies? %1 increased mana regen per 3% uncapped lightning res. Eh. Now I only eat cheese. Cheese is my snack. It's the only thing I eat. Cheese and I drink tea. Those are my snacks. Veggies? I don't eat veggies except for onion and garlic, pretty much.
Yes. Be well.
Yes?
Stay safe. I see.
Maybe that's it? No, that's not it. Increased physical damage and double resistance. That ain't bad. Good there. I have so few resistance thingies. Plus 21 necrotic resistance. Damn. That's pretty severe. And we really want fire res here. Let's go with that. Still missing poison. We need everything except for physical and void. Which is like the only thing I have.
What do you want?
Series of fast dash attacks. Let's see how annoying this skill is.
Yes. Be well.
Oh my god. Oh, right. This skill requires dual wielding. So we basically have to switch to dual wielding now to be able to use it, but I don't want to switch to dual wielding yet, because we still don't have good resistances. That's unfortunate. I still think Diablo 3 has the best to some degree. I mean, I still think it's like the bottom level design of that system, but I still think it has the best approach we've had so far to internal... Oh, shit. Like an internal gameplay loop within characters. But only for the Barbarian. The Barbarian is the only class that's well designed in the entire game. It's kind of nice. Stop nuking the shit out of me. Because there you have a resource, which is Fury or whatever it's called. Spend that to do Whirlwind or whatever else resource spender you've got. But then you also have a bunch of cooldown abilities. You've got War Stomp, you have Charge, maybe you have Leap. Maybe you have a War Cry if you're playing with friends. Or if you have a debuff War Cry. But all of them give you the resource that you use to spend your abilities, so you have your main damage skill, and then you have a bunch of abilities that are on a cooldown that are either just nukes or utility skills or both. War Stomp is an AoE stun, but you can use it for, you can change it so that you either just do more damage with it, and then you've got a nuke, or you make it have a bigger radius, and it also like sucks enemies in, so you can use it to gather up enemies and then nuke them, and stuff like that. And it also gives you resource. So you use that, and you also have Charge, which is just a movement ability, but you can also spec it so that you have more charges. You can spec it so that you have that it does a lot of damage. It can do like double damage, twice as much damage as War Stomp. But it doesn't normally give you any resources. But you can also spec it so that when you hit an enemy with it, it gives you resource, or it gives you Fury. And then you can have like a War Cry that buffs you, and or like I said, debuffs all the enemies, and it also gives you energy. And then you're like greatly rewarded for playing with these well and using them, you know, weaving them into your gameplay as much as possible, and just playing the game with your class. Because it lets you keep up your, like, the ability that you're supposed to be using. You can keep whirlwinding, or you can keep rending, or you can keep hammer smashing, or whatever. While at the same time, it offers a lot of utility. And it changes up the gameplay a lot. What the fuck? Ouch, ouch. See, this is why I can't switch over to dual wielding now. Like, it's still too early. Just nuke me. But then the other classes, they just don't do this at all. And it's just shit. Like, if you're playing a wizard in Diablo 3, well, the wizard, all its abilities don't do anything. Like, you use a magic weapon. What does magic weapon do? It's a buff that gives you 15% more damage. And that's all it does. And then you have, like, diamond skin. It's just a defensive thing. You equip familiar. It's also just a passive that just gives you more damage. So then you have like 2 buttons that are just passive damage boost. And then you have maybe one, then you have teleport, and you have like 1 defensive ability. And then all the classes are like that, except for the barbarian, which is the only class that works the way it should. It's weird. Stronger bleeds. Let's get stronger heals. Oh shit! Yeah, I think my necrotic resistance is really low. %. Yep. Oh, not good. Kill me, dude. Holy shit. It's almost time to stop the stream. Too tired to talk.
Easy. Too easy.
Yes? Gods be with you. Yes? Gods be with you.
Is it up here? Yeah. But I don't know, maybe it's a mistake to dual wield without taking this node fully. Because it does give you dodge. And I think dodge... What is dodge in this game? Dodge a hit from enemies. Yeah. More necrotic shit.
Easy. Too easy.
Not good. This is rippy. Holy shit, stop giving me anime songs. Something I would also like to play is a melee necromancer, but I don't know if you can. I think if you want to do that, or rather I think if you want to have minions, you have to focus on minions, but I'm not sure. And I hate stats. Stats are so dumb. Shadow Cascade? Should we switch to that instead of... Oh no, you need dual wielding for that too. Ah, boy. I think maybe we'll stop here. I don't feel like doing the Corrupted Lake. That is some bullshit. Alright.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it has poison res, poison res, poison res. I need all of that shit. That one, this is actually a pretty decent trinket or relic.
Be well.
We'll stop there. I'm gonna go and try to get some work done, but I'm not so sure how much I'll manage, unfortunately. Rhythm duration. Bleed chance. I don't know how many points we need down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we have a heal. I mean, we could do smoke bomb as well, but I just don't like it. But we're gonna have to, because we're gonna, if we end up with just dancing strikes, shift, lethal mirage, then we still have 2 more abilities that we need to get. And I don't know what to even get then. This class feels a little bit unfinished. Maybe I have to get puncture. Something. We need something that I can turn into a cooldown ability. This one has a 0.9 second cooldown. Plus 8 cooldown. You now disappear instead of teleporting to the target, and a shadow is created in your place. But synchronized strike, I don't know what that says. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. But this is a cooldown. Cascade cannot be a cooldown. And I'm not sure. I mean, we basically have to take Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is really good though, so it's fine, I guess. Just don't really like it. Yeah. Anyway, until next time, thanks for hanging. Have a good night. Bye-bye.